All right, here we go. Years ago, our three hosts began a journey together as they watched all the Ernest films and TV shows in chronological order for a podcast. As that quest neared its end, our heroes were entrusted with the holy grail of all things Ernest, the binders of Unmade Ernest movies. Having been blessed with this sacred text from the creators and writers of the Ernest franchise, they decided to share the treasures within with the world. They formed the Ernest P. Worrell Preservation Society and will gather regularly to discuss these films that never were. They are the Wranglers of Rimshot, the Custodians of Kikiki. They are the Ernest P. Worrell Preservation Society. It's going to be a veritable extravaganza, comprendo? Welcome to episode 3 of the Ernest P. Worrell Preservation Society. I am your host, Dustin, joined, of course, by my favorite fellas to talk about Ernest with, Derek.
Well, hello.
And Jason.
And hello to you. Thank you very much.
It's a new month. We are...
What month is it?
It's July.
Oh, my God.
I'm getting married.
Marriage.
Congratulations.
Yep. It's an Ernest-themed wedding.
Okay, I was going to say, what are you doing?
Finest denim.
Finest of denim.
Are you going to have a rimshot ring bearer?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, smart.
Nice.
Yep. The whole like ring putting on the finger is going to be a Rube Goldberg thing.
Okay.
I drop a ball and all these things happen.
Some plastic chicken breaking an egg, probably.
Mariana holds out her finger and the ring just gets put on.
The whole time.
Yeah. Kevin, our friend Kevin Clark is officiating, and instead of saying I do, we say I do know what I mean.
Yeah.
You know.
Smart.
So, yeah, it's going to be
stuff.
fun.
It's very clever.
Can't wait to see that in person, because that's definitely going to happen just that way.
Yep.
Exactly.
So
And if it doesn't, I'll fight you.
it's a month into the show, and we've had a pretty successful start of it. There was some big news that was finally able to be revealed for everybody that we've had to sit on our hands and wait for this news to come
I
out.
lost all feeling in my hands because of that.
Double stranger.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Double stranger, that's right.
You're awful quiet there, fella.
Oh, my
For
bad.
once, Derek is quiet. in
That
the
was
mess.
hurtful. That was hurtful.
Yeah, there's been a lot of stuff in the Ernest verse. I mean, if he died 20 years ago, there wasn't a lot of news for a long time,
Yeah.
right? So
One reason.
So any news, I think, is a lot of news. But we have
and then we came along and stirred up the pot, and now there's going to be a documentary.
Yep.
Would you
Official
say that-
documentary.
That we're the girls that kicked the hornet's nest?
No, I wouldn't say that at all.
Okay, good.
And it's by our good friend who was on the episode. What was that episode that he was on? It was the
Your
weird one.
World as I See It.
Yes, that weird one with,
Yeah,
with
that weird
Astor
one.
Clemens, right?
Yeah.
As the host.
David
Yes.
Pagano
Yes.
from Ernest Goes to Podcast, our friends at our sister podcast. They started it. We added alcohol and swearing,
Yep.
and now we've removed the swearing for the most part.
Derek rose his
Still have
hand when you said
alcohol,
alcohol, yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, we
He's an alcoholic.
we've become friends,
Classic
and
alcoholic.
David is working on the documentary with Jim's nephew Justin,
Yep.
who wrote the biography, and our good loving papa Dan Butler, and the three of them released the trailer video. There's going to
Are we
be
gonna have a link in the show notes? Hopefully.
yeah, once they get
A
the
magical
page
blue link?
up and going for the Kickstarter,
But the
and everything.
YouTube for the trailer, at least.
Oh yeah, we can at least put that. in
Oh,
there.
thank God. It's a good trailer. He did
It
a
is
great
a good
job.
trailer. I
I was
do
looking at it's Paganimation. Is that the name of his company,
yeah,
right?
that's his, he does the Lego videos.
He's got over
He's the Lego
close to
Legionnaire.
60,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah.
That sounds exhausting.
The man is a success. He had a few minutes of the Lego movie. That's
Yeah,
very
he did.
popular. He did a few minutes of that film.
So
It's incredible.
yeah,
pretty cool.
we've got a documentary coming out. We've got our show with all these unmade movies. It's a good time to be an Ernest fan. 40th anniversary of the character, 20th anniversary of Jim's passing, and we're going to do our best to honor him and have some fun along the way.
We got to add to it too, right?
Yeah, so we may as well get into our first of 3
You can dive in.
scripts
Take a bite.
for this episode.
Classic
Knife, fork,
three-piece
tuck in
today.
shirt.
Knife, fork.
go.
That's right.
Let's go.
It's dirty, but you can still say it.
Yep. It's not swearing.
It is. That's right. It's not
sure
swearing.
It's not. Okay.
It's not swearing.
So our first one is Ernest Goes to the Movies.
Well, hold on. Before we even
sure,
start,
sure.
why are we doing 3 today? Why are there 3?
Felt like it.
Okay, that's
Well,
it. Go
we've
ahead.
talked previously about having the real deal about the 3, so maybe
Triple.
we'll just,
Oh, the
Triple
Beastie Boys.
trouble.
yes,
Yeah.
Yes, triple
triple
trouble.
threat.
Triple.
Not once, not twice, but thrice.
So basically, what it is they're all short, and they all have a similar theme, and
Right.
it just wouldn't make sense to read this and be like, oh yeah, tune in 2 weeks from now where we do Ernest Goes to the Movies.
Doesn't
again.
make sense. Doesn't
That
make
sounds
sense,
like a
guys.
joke.
Does not compute.
Yeah.
Does not compute.
So
They're all short. Let's group them together and knock them out.
and we're gonna read all of it to you. There, I mean, just look at it, viewers.
This isn't just a treat; it's the whole dang snack.
Yeah.
You're really restraining yourself in the cursing. Congratulations.
I really am. I really am. It also helps that my toddler is starting to cuss. So
Oh,
I need to
wonder
Why
why
would
that is.
help?
I don't know why it would help.
No, I need
He's
to
encouraging
stop.
you.
I'm trying to discourage him.
What's the words he's saying?
Swear with
Just
me,
first,
Daddy.
first letter only.
S
word?
and A word.
And the A word. And why does he say those
Shauna?
things?
When he
And Shandy.
and Shandy. That's exactly it. Shauna and Shandy. If he drops something or kind of trips as he's getting up, it's
Wait, he's taking hallucinogens?
yep.
Horrible parenting
Wrong,
decision.
dude, it's my baby. He
Yeah.
can handle strong
Okay.
acid.
You say so.
But at least it sounds like he's using the curse words in the correct context.
He
though.
absolutely 100% is.
That's great news.
Whipping
Spencer-
boss, Dad.
Spencer,
Twipping.
The floor is lava.
The floor is lava. literally.
Dad.
He the beagle tripped him, and he got up and turned and looked at him and called him
The S word?
A word.
The A word?
Yeah.
The A-H word or
Sharp
just
kid.
the A word?
Very sharp kid. Very sharp kid. He dropped a piece of a sandwich, and Spencer got at that. S word.
Yeah. Smart
Oh,
kid.
man. Yeah.
Want to meet that dad.
Want to meet that dad. Definitely not a dumb baby.
Yeah.
Definitely not. I
Definitely
would never
not
say anything like that.
You would never say anything about that. Come
Well,
on.
enough about Derek's dumb baby.
You
so
rat!
let's move on. We've got Ernest Goes to the Movies, or
Ernest and the Curse of Hitler's Brain.
Ernest and the Treasure of El Dorado.
Or
Ernest and the Zombie Queen. Take your pick. There's 4 titles
Take
for
your
this.
pick.
do we want to pick one right now? We've all read this already.
I've literally been referring to it as Ernest Goes to the Movies the whole time.
Okay.
So that's my pick.
I'm going to go Hitler's Brain.
I'm there with you. I want to see some Nazi shenanigans.
So the whole curse of
Kyle.
the whole curse of Hitler's brain was a long, ongoing inside joke in the writers' room of the Ernest camp. They would work that into several different things. That it was always a throwaway joke, like, "Oh, the curse of Hitler's brain," and it eventually stuck here, at least, and they turned it into something in the script.
Can I do a shameless plug real quick?
Sure, shame. Plug away.
So I do another podcast called Couch Pilots where we talk about shows that had 1 episode.
Great show.
And thank you very much. And we recently did one called K9000. It was about a detective who got a robot dog essentially as a sidekick. And the guy who wrote it, his name was Michael Part. Michael Part. He co-wrote it with Stephen De Seduza or whatever. I can't remember how you say
Jason
his name.
Sudeikis.
No, the guy who wrote the Die Hard films.
Oh, okay.
And I was talking to him, and he said that if they had gone further, the second episode would have been named something with Hitler's brain.
Really?
So is this an inside joke among writers to include the title and
Maybe.
it have something to do with Hitler's
be.
brain? It's too much of a coincidence for me.
I think in the 80s and 90s, people were obsessed with Hitler's
They
brain.
love brains.
Hitler
loved
jokes were very prevalent in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
I had this conversation
You did.
very
You did,
recently
okay.
on Drunk at the Movies with my co-host Seth. We recorded watching the movie Clifford, and there were multiple Hitler jokes.
And that was late 80s, early 90s?
Filmed in 90, released in 94.
I thought you were going to say filmed in 90, released in 1989, because got to get back in time.
All that still counts as the 80s and Hitler's brain.
Am I
it's
that bad on the mic right now? I'm trying to be a little
I don't
more
know.
dulcet.
Something.
breathe it in.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Good Lord.
There you
All
go.
right.
Is that better?
That's
It's all being cut. I'll tell you that
it's
right
at
now.
least
That's-
normal.
It's all being cut.
Yeah, but the patrons get to enjoy this. This is what they pay for.
Enjoy it.
The peek behind
for
the
you.
denim curtain, if you will.
Their funeral.
All right, so Act 1, the movie opens in black and white. and this is why I had to read this thing, is because we are literally being given, we're painting the scene, and I can't paraphrase this as accurately as this does. So this is how the movie starts. It's 1940, somewhere in North Africa. The scene looks like Rick's Cafe in Casablanca, ceiling fans and ornamental palm trees, multinational patrons, and evening clothes. The camera settles on a beautiful woman who sits across the table from a handsome man with wavy hair. Kind of like myself right now.
Yeah, I've always referred to you as a handsome man with wavy hair.
Suddenly, the cafe doors slam open, and in walk heavily armed Nazi stormtroopers. The cafe goes quiet as they approach the table where the beautiful woman and handsome man sit. The man turns. It is Buck Hunkley, and I am really going to have to watch saying that name fast. Because if Buck Hunkley.
Yeah. There's a lot of...
Say it again.
Buck Hunkley.
Say it one more time.
No.
Faster.
A dashing soldier of fortune, world traveler, and hero. A Nazi commander says...
So, Mr. Hunkley, I understand you're in possession of the Fuhrer's brain.
Camera registers a series of shocked reactions. Buck slowly stands and faces the Nazis.
Search him!
As the stormtroopers move in, Buck whips out his pistol and begins picking off Nazis. The cafe is in an uproar as patrons dive under tables. Chaos reigns, but quickly we see that Buck has triumphed and his would-be opponents have fled in disarray.
That's the first page.
That's the first page.
This is Indiana Jones, basically, with a cooler name. Well,
yeah.
Indiana Jones is a pretty cool name, too.
Yeah.
And then I have a question, too, but this in possession of the Fuhrer's brain. This is 1940. Didn't Adolf Hitler kill himself in like 45? 44, 45?
Semantics.
Okay, all right.
All right, so...
filmed in 90, released in 94.
Immediately, I'm confused. Reading this.
How so?
Where's Ernest?
Yeah.
How is Ernest going to play into this?
Yeah.
That's my thoughts. Now, it'll be revealed.
Patience, pet.
Yeah. Patience. So, it starts off, it's kind of like Goes to Camp or whatever. Like, we had the Indian on the cross that they were throwing.
Oh, right.
At.
Yes.
So, all right. The camera moves in for a close-up as Buck embraces the beautiful woman, and they stand in the wreckage in a romantic two-shot. From off-screen, we hear, "Cut!" And the scene fades into color, Wizard of Oz style.
So much Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
You hear the ching from Dark Side of the Moon's money kicking in right when that door opens.
Yeah.
We are on the set of a low-budget epic. You know, a lot of low-budget epics being made.
The contradiction in terms, isn't it?
The Curse of Hitler's Brain. It is the latest in a series of marginally successful films featuring Buck Hunkley, an actor whose ego far exceeds his talent.
We see the director, a flamboyant visionary, the producer, a harried businessman, the backers, unsmiling accountants, and the crew, a group of low-budget professionals. Low-budget used a couple times there. And we see Ernest, who works as a maintenance man / gopher / janitor / general flunky.
Are we good with that?
That's always what we have to address is,
check.
Does Ernest's job make sense? Of course it does.
Check.
Yeah.
That makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Ernest begins to clean up the debris of the Casablanca scene, and we see that he bears a striking resemblance to Buck. Jim Varney will play both roles.
Parenthetically.
So now, when the movie started, we would have seen Jim Varney dressed up as this, like, you know, Humphrey
Debonair.
Bogart.
We now know from the very beginning we would have seen Jim.
Yeah, and again, that would have been confusing. Why is Ernest
So
actor,
cool and
you know?
and revered, yes.
Suave.
Yeah.
We had the dual role in Goes to Jail, where he played Mr. Nash, but that was kept a secret for almost half the movie.
A lot of like
the
side shots or
shadows and
shadows,
stuff.
yeah. Yep.
So, yeah. But Jim Varney getting another dual role here. Oh, I forgot to mention when this was written.
Oh,
Totally
please.
forgot.
When?
Come on,
Because
man.
this was written in February of 1987, which is 5 months before Camp came out. So that means maybe this dual role idea originated here. and then they took it and stole it for camp.
I was going to ask
Or
you
not
when it was
camp,
written.
Jail. Yeah.
I was going to ask you when this was written, because reading through it, I'm like, I got a feeling this guy.
Well, he said 5 months before camp was released, but what does it say here? February of 87?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
And I mean, they were churning those movies out. So like, Jail came out a couple years later, I think. So.
91-ish? 92?
Oh, I was thinking 89.
Okay. Who can we say who wrote this or not?
We can.
Okay, because sometimes we can't say who wrote it.
This one was actually written by Buster and Coke Sam's.
Yeah.
So we can say their names, I guess.
Oh, thank God. You know what I hate is not saying names.
It's the worst.
Buster's fine with it. Coke, I haven't heard from, but
Why is that? What is he doing that's so damn important or gosh darn important?
You done messed up.
I love to swear.
It is great. This is killing me.
All right.
This show's a labor of love
Should I
for
keep
me.
going or is that
you
you?
keep going.
Do it to it, Lars.
All right. In the rest of Act 1, we get to know the players. We see a series of Ernest gags as he tries to be helpful on the set. Lights are knocked over, scenery is destroyed. Ernest is humiliated again and again. That tracks, right? That's in line with Ernest.
Yeah.
Yep.
Screwing stuff up, being humiliated. We see Buck is indeed an egomaniac, and we learn that he is having an ill-advised affair with the producer's wife.
That's not good for anybody.
No.
That's sultry. A little too salacious for this guy. We meet Marie, the pure as the driven snow production assistant, who has a large crush on Buck. Who wouldn't have a crush on him?
So, if she has a crush on Buck, who bears a strong resemblance,
Stands to
her,
reason,
eh,
right?
But
May
can you
have
be
a
attracted to one twin and not the other?
potential love interest.
I don't know.
She is the one person who is nice to Ernest, so she's a good lady. So naturally, he is at his worst with her, and by that I assume he means he's stumbling over his words.
Oh, of course.
Knocking over lights in front of her, and just not being
so much Looney Tunes.
not being crappy to her, just
No.
being Ernest cranked up to 10 in front of her.
Buffoonery.
Yeah.
On steroids.
Yep.
We see the director change the storyline and charge off in a whole new direction in a futile attempt to impress the backers who are losing faith in the curse of Hitler's brain. The story has been magically transported to a medieval castle with Buck and cast in modified medieval wardrobe.
So how does that make sense with it being medieval times in Hitler's brain?
With it being where?
That's a joke.
Medieval times.
So it's like this movie's getting so ridiculous that now it's a time travel.
Well, I have a theory about that because it changes a lot over
Yes.
the course
Oh,
of
yes,
it,
it does.
and it doesn't make any sense, right? It doesn't make any sense to do that, or how much have they lost?
Theory too, depending on yours.
I think it's just for them to constantly have new and exciting and fun sets for the viewers to see.
That could make sense.
I think that's what it is
Yeah.
because in the process of making a film, that doesn't make any sense at all. You have to start over every time.
Yeah, you would have to rewrite the script every time.
That doesn't make sense.
No.
I think it's just something visually for people to enjoy different settings, different time periods.
Okay.
Let's see here. All right. So Buck fights his way to the top of the castle tower and switches places with his stunt double, who makes a dramatic leap and falls to the ground, just missing his safety mattress. Everyone is shocked. What? I'm sorry.
You're excused.
It wasn't a belch, like my throat just stopped working. Everyone is shocked. What will we do? The show must go on, and Ernest gets the job as Buck's stunt double.
Okay, so that's the end of Act 1. We now move on to Act 2. Derek can.
What does it take
refresh
to be a stunt double? Just the willingness to throw the body around?
Yeah.
The ample need for a paycheck, usually having some kind of addiction,
Yeah,
stands to reason. Like, I gotta feed
Did you
this
see Once
habit.
Upon a Time in Hollywood?
I did.
That was a good movie.
That's pretty funny.
Brad Pitt is
Brad
the
Pitt's the
stuntman.
stunt double. Yeah, he was great.
Yep. So, Act 2. This is a dream come true for Ernest. Now he is really in show business. Now he will get to work closely with his idol Buck. Now he can be somebody. Act 2 follows the adventures of Ernest as the stunt double. Time and again, we watch Buck reach, climactic moment of a scene, then change places with Ernest, who then has to face a death-defying peril, quicksand, killer Dobermans, fiery crashes through brick walls. Time and time again, we see Buck get the glory and Ernest get the bruises.
He must be on cloud 9 though, right? I mean, he was a
Loving
gopher.
Yeah.
He was getting coffee before.
Yeah.
He's in the movie now. In his mind, he's in the
Real
movie.
movies.
Is that from the show, the TV show?
I don't know. I'm just like,
That would have been a line.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
guarantee it. It would have been.
Gosh.
Wow.
So
That was a little too shaggy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we see the director go from one wild flight of imagination to the next, changing plot line and location in a vain attempt to impress the financial backers who are not moved.
Is that what it's like on a movie set? Financial backers just standing around with arms crossed?
Yeah, they got nothing better to do.
See, that goes into my theory. I think some of this writing, like the changing and trying to impress people, I think that's working out some frustrations with, I'm new to Hollywood, I'm writing scripts now for studios, and
I think it's meta.
kind of meta.
Okay.
It's like, trying to work out
Ernest
some
has
hostility.
been known to go meta occasionally.
The cartoon comment.
Yeah, exactly. So we see Ernest brag to his buddies that despite the pain, he is finally on my way to fame and fortune. We learn Buck's secret. He is heavily in debt to an unforgiving gambler and his henchmen who are beginning to apply more pressure. First, there are phone calls, then there's threats. Now there is a promise. Buck will die.
Death! Yes!
Unless he pays up, and Buck has no way to do this.
Why not? He's working in all these low-budget epics.
Yeah.
There's got to be some money
He's
in
got to
that,
have
right?
all that,
But he's a gambler.
B&C movie
Spending it all.
cheddar.
He does not know when to hold them, nor when to fold them. Kenny Rogers, rest in peace.
R.I.P.
So Buck has an idea. He will change places with Ernest and let him take the fall in real life as he's done on the set.
Makes sense. This is the plot to Jail.
Yeah.
Right?
Kind of, yeah. It
yeah.
very much is. It's just not in a jail.
Yeah, I literally wrote Two Goes to Jail.
Yeah.
Maybe they used this as the kickoff
Sure.
for the idea. So Act 2 ends with Ernest ecstatic at the possibilities that are now open to him. Things he's never had before. Fame, money, glory, women, maybe even respect. It's almost too good to be true. Ernest P. Worrell is Buck Hunkley.
What is, say it faster.
Say it.
Buck Hunkley.
One more time. I'm sorry.
That's about as fast as I can go.
My
I want to say
my allergies are backing up. I can't hear.
Huckley, if you transpose those, and you're getting in tricky territory when you start changing letters around.
I think his tricky territory is when Ernest starts dabbling in women. That's what I think is tricky territory. Ernest, to me, and I'll say this in the next episode we release as well, is that Ernest is Ernest is an innocent.
He is.
His idea of ladies is holding hands.
Yeah.
Peck on the cheek, maybe a hug,
a smoocheroo, a flower.
Yeah.
Maybe some posies.
That's it. What is he going to do with all this fame and fortune in
Slam
women?
Dunk Ernest was kind of hot, though.
Slam dunk? Why? Because the shorts?
More money, and you,
Oh, Lord.
and money.
I was embarrassed for Linda.
Yeah. No, that wasn't Linda. That was Stevie.
Yeah.
Stevie.
That was the.
That wasn't
That was the
Zoobly-Zoo.
Zoobly Zoo kangaroo.
That's right.
Come on, man.
I'm back on board.
Come on, man.
I'm back. Okay, so for Act 3, Ernest cuts a dashing figure as Buck with false mustache and white silk scarf. We know Ernest can cut a handsome figure, right?
Yeah.
Jim's a good-looking guy.
Oh, yeah.
He can't hide
It's
that.
The cover of Justin's book.
Look at that profile.
Smoldering.
Absolutely.
Smoldering.
The director has changed the story yet again,
Of course he has.
and now Hitler's brain is careening through the futuristic world of high technology with Buck pursued by space pirates.
More like Buck Rogers, right?
Ooh, high five it.
Yeah. Oh, hey. Yeah. We did it. With our hands.
Space pirates with laser pistols. I love laser beams. Pew, pew, pew. Here for a change, Ernest, as Buck, gets to step aside and let Buck, as Ernest / stunt double, do the dangerous work. Ernest also gets to act in a love scene with his lovely female co-star, Annette DeHaven.
Oh, my.
Act 3 pushes Ernest into the world of role reversals as he lives the life he has always imagined. Now, again, women throw themselves at him, including the producer's wife, Anne-Marie.
This is just a recipe for disaster.
I don't know about this.
He can't... Okay, so Buck is already having an affair with the producer's wife, correct?
This lady's getting around, yeah.
So she's going to notice immediately that he's off.
How so?
Well, one,
Yes, explain this to me.
Ernest is a Ken doll down below, as far as we've been told.
Yeah.
Up to this point, we've discussed it on our other show.
Completely
that
shorn
Well,
and
that's what
smooth.
Disney
A
demanded.
Disney exec said Ernest has nothing below the belt.
That's how I like to picture him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like a large cashew pushing
Alan
up underneath the
Rickman
flesh.
as the angel Metatron in
Alan
Dogma.
Rickman.
Wow, that's
Alan
pretty deep.
Rickman.
Yeah, deep cut.
Hans Gruber.
Now men want him for their friend. That's the old saying, right? Women want to be with him.
Now men want
be
him
his
for friend.
That's right. Now the world is at his feet. Things are perfect. ... Almost.
Want to meet that Buck?
The gambler and his thugs arrive. They are through talking and ready to finish off Buck.
What now?
Finish off Buck.
Yay.
Yeah.
What's this rated?
They're gonna finish him off.
Dustin.
What?
This is
Dustin.
He's a Ken doll.
so these thugs.
I'm not.
It's a cat. What'd you say it was? A cashew?
like a cashew pushing up over flesh. A large cashew pushing up underneath
A
the
large
flesh.
cashew.
Well, yeah. You
Wanna
gotta
meet that
adjust the
cashew.
size. Want to meet that cashew.
All right.
Do.
Yeah, your turn, Derek.
The gangsters steal costumes and join the movie crew on the set for the climactic scene of The Curse of Hitler's Brain. This is the grand finale, which the director has once more magically altered. Mm-hmm. This time, the setting is a cross between a haunted mansion and a Roman gladiators coliseum.
I am intrigued.
I kept trying to picture it, and the whimsy
Haunted
just sounds...
Gladiator Coliseum.
Yeah.
All these set changes.
Are you not entertained? And scared?
Scared?
Spooky.
All the set changes are like
for the spooky
they're like one or two sentences, but they paint a pretty vivid picture of what they would be.
They do.
And to me, they're all so different that it would be like a celebration of all these different film types. And like you said, maybe it is their frustration trying to
just
get
working that out. Like,
Yeah.
oh, great, a movie by committee. Fantastic. Ernest as Buck is ready. The cameras roll, the action starts, and immediately Ernest realizes he is being pursued by killers using real bullets and real knives. It has all been fun up until this point. Now he's running for his life. The gangsters close in and Ernest is cornered, but through bumbling and good luck, he escapes. The cameras keep rolling and the director is ecstatic with the action. Again, Ernest is trapped. Again, he escapes. Again, the director rejoices in the dramatic footage.
That is an odd
Again.
little
Yeah.
Again.
The rule of threes.
another one.
So finally, Ernest is cornered for real on top of a burning tower. Towering Inferno. I saw that one too.
Wasn't O.J. Simpson in that?
Heck yeah.
Right.
The gangsters close
Juice is
in.
loose.
At the last moment, Ernest leaps onto a scaffold and cuts through a support rope, and the tower with the gangsters on it falls with a huge crash. For one brief moment, Ernest is a hero. He has saved his own day. Then the scaffold falls with Ernest on it, and he crashes to earth and out of sight. While everyone congratulates everyone, Buck sneaks over to the spot where Ernest has fallen, and once more changes places with him.
Are we to understand that the gangsters are dead?
I guess.
Did they die
Every
during
Ernest
this?
movie has a body count.
It is weird, isn't it?
Dropping bodies.
Yeah. Unless, they're just really discouraged by being somewhat injured, and they're like, it's not worth the trouble.
Yeah.
I'll just go away.
Not
That
worth
leading
the
man
trouble.
still got
That's
the
a
best
kid's
of us.
movie gangster.
Yeah.
Let's get out of here.
Buck emerges triumphant and takes the credit for the amazing series of stunts Ernest has just performed. Buck is once again the center of attention. Ernest is once again the forgotten man. Unlovely and unloved.
Good Lord.
The movie ends as the cast and crew of Hitler's Brain leave to return to their homes. Ernest has one more chance to get to know Marie, who somehow can see that there is good in him. For one brief moment, it looks as if Ernest will get the girl. But then he blows it and is left alone as the film fades to black.
Kendall.
Let me ask you this.
What is this ending?
I don't like the ending. Are we? So we got 3 different versions of an Ernest Goes
Yes, this is
to Hollywood. Ernest Goes to the
number
movies.
one.
Are we gonna? Do you want to start rating them now, or do you want to go through all of them and then discuss them?
I think we can still kind of talk about this one a little bit, and then maybe
Okay.
at the end we just pick which one we think shows the best promise.
I like it.
So cast of characters on this one. Ernest and Buck, obviously we know that.
Yeah, that's clearly going to be Charles Rocket.
Freshly off of
Who
being
made an
fired from
unseemly end? Do you know that?
Saturday Night Live.
Yes, he did.
Good Lord, what an odd
He
choice!
struggled. He struggled with things.
Holy Lord!
He was in Dumb and Dumber, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
He was the main villain.
mastermind.
Yeah, and then he stabbed himself in a field somewhere to death.
Yes, he did.
That's fun.
Keep that in.
So then we have Marie the PA. Now, usually the female love interest, we've never known who any of them are, and this is before Linda Cash's time. Would you see her in this role potentially, though?
No. It's 87. I know exactly who it would be.
I'm not thinking in terms of time frame, so I would go yes. The only other female that's consistent is a Jackie Welch, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. One of those two is fine with me.
Marky Post.
Marky Post it is. Coming hot off the middle of Night Court.
Right, with that Night Court heat.
Or do you want Marky Post as the producer's wife that's having the affair?
Ooh, the wild card.
Look how excited he
I
is.
changed my mind.
Okay.
I want her to be the
So Linda Cash is Marie, and then stunt casting Night Court's Marky Post as the producer's wife.
Yep.
Okay. The director.
Stand by my decision.
The director who keeps changing things. Who are we picturing in this?
I say Bruce.
That was my first thought.
He's eccentric, right? He can play that
we
anyway.
just need someone unhinged.
He can do it.
Hold on, I got a whole brand new idea for the script.
Yeah.
We're going to take this baby in a whole other direction.
Okay. Producers, that could be like Dan could have one of those roles as one of the studio heads. Now, my thought for the goons, Chuck and Bobby.
Sure,
Yeah.
absolutely.
That's why they're so discouraged.
That's a
and
given.
they're like, I'm
Easily
I don't need
duped.
this. When your
Easily
goons
duped.
are Gaylord Sartain and Bill Burge,
Yeah.
you know.
You're not going to have
You'll probably be
that good
just
of an
fine.
operation.
You'll be fine.
So
That's good.
That's the first one.
That's some dope
Ernest
casting.
Goes to the movies. The next one, this one has no date. It is strictly just called Ernest Goes to Hollywood, and it is a one-pager. So we're just going to read through this whole thing. Two old gentlemen are carrying on an argument that they have had for years. One man was a successful producer-director, while the other was a star actor. The actor contends that the other man would never have been successful if not for his great acting in the producer's early movies. The producer counters with a theory that the actor would have never made it without the producer to provide him with the great early roles and career direction. The producer claims he could take anyone and turn them into a star. The actor, tired of this decades-old debate, finally issues a challenge. He bets the producer that he can't take an ordinary person and make them a star. The producer accepts. As they go back and forth about selecting this person, their attention is drawn to a commotion on the other side of the restaurant. The new busboy in training seems to be wreaking great havoc. Oh, that should be wreaking, right?
Reeking, yeah.
That's a typo.
Racking havoc.
Well, he's wrecking and wreaking great havoc upon the patrons and himself.
I like that it's bus boy when he's clearly
He's a
34.
busman. He's a busman.
He's a bus man.
Busman.
This also is a classic "she's all that, can't buy me love"
I
situation,
thought
right?
that too when I was reading this. I'm like, all right, we're about to Rachel Lee Cook this.
As the ex-bus boy is heaved out into the street,
Busman.
he is approached by the two old gentlemen. They lay out their plans for him, how they will make him a star. People the world over will soon list him among the great names in cinema history. Clark Gable, Humphrey Bogart, Laurence Olivier, and now Ernest P. Worrell.
Mm-hmm.
With stars in his eyes and no other job prospects, Ernest accepts. He is quickly caught up in the world of show business, maybe too caught up. Also, the actor is doing all he can to throw a monkey wrench into the producer's plans so he can win the bet. That's all this says.
There's so much build up to that. It's like everything we're seeing is probably like in the first 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's all Act
of the movie.
1.
This is
There's
a
no
pitch.
Act 2 or 3.
Yeah.
It's like a pitch meeting written down.
Yeah.
It's very slam dunk Ernest-esque, where the two sides are like playing some kind of game
Absolutely.
of fate.
Yep.
No, I can
with a
cast
side
this.
bet.
You can cast it?
You can cast this.
Please, by all means.
The old star?
There's an alternate
tell us
version.
the alternate version.
Well,
So-
should we cast this one first or not? Because this is kind of the alternate version is like a completely separate thing.
That's true. Yeah.
great,
Okay.
because I can cast that too.
all right.
Just you wait.
All right.
All right. Anybody want to take a stab at it?
No, you're the one who said
First
you
we're gonna
had.
have Ernest. Who's the producer? Robert Evans. Who's the old star?
Robert
Mickey Rooney.
Evans?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yep. I'm gonna make you a star, the biggest in the world. I was the biggest in the world. You hear me? A star.
Robert Evans was a big producer, right?
Yeah.
And then they do was it like Kid Fantastic? It was a cartoon on Comedy Central. Do you remember that?
There was a documentary, The Kid Stays in the Picture. I remember that.
There's something else. It's called like Kid Dynamite.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, okay.
I just love Robert Evans for his giant bat wing cocaine nostrils.
So he's the producer.
He's the producer.
He's the
He
one
has to
saying
be
I
the
can turn
producer.
anyone into a star.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
And then who was the other? Mickey Rooney? Still alive. He was 118 at this point, 120? Somewhere there.
Roughly.
Still could have played Fallout Boy.
And that's really all they give us as far as who could be casted, right?
That's literally all that's here. And then this alternate version, it says Ernest and his young friends have a video club.
Yep, I love it. Video club.
Video club. They make a no-budget video short. This catches the eye of a Hollywood producer. He gives Ernest a shot at a big-budget feature film. This goes to Ernest's head, and he goes Hollywood, acting like a big shot and ignoring his young pals. When Ernest gets in over his head, the kids come to his rescue, save the film, and teach Ernest a valuable lesson.
Essentially, we're reading 4. There's 3, but this tiny little paragraph is a 4th
Like,
version.
if you don't like those 3 paragraphs, try this
How
one.
about this one?
This one's my favorite.
Okay.
This one is my favorite because what you're saying here is that him and his friends have a video club. So what I picture here is
His
Ernest.
young friends.
First of all,
It's like
casting.
Scared Stupid.
Boom, check. You got a bunch of kids who like Ernest.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not weird because Ernest is an
He's a
innocent
child in and of himself.
And I like to think that Ernest is working at a video store.
Yes.
So after hours, he gets to take the videos home.
Randall.
Be kind, rewind. Know what I mean?
Clerks, yeah. So he'll take a couple videos home, and once a week he'll get together with the kids, and maybe the kids say, we can make a movie. And so maybe they have like a little film
And then
festival
it
in
turns
town.
into Be Kind, Rewind, and they sweeted it, and they verned it.
They burn it up, yeah.
They make. You've seen Be Kind, Rewind, right?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so the whole
Jack
premise.
Black and is it Mos Def? Is that right?
Mos
Yeah,
Def
Mos
and
Def.
Jack Black and a magnet, which Ernest is known for being magnetic,
Mm-hmm.
erases all the videotapes. So then they make their own versions, and they do like Ghostbusters and a bunch of them.
They're not fooling anybody, but people love it.
They say it's like a Swedish version, and they sweeted it, and so they verned it.
Who did? Was that Michael Gondry? Michel Gondry?
Michel Gondry. Yeah.
Oh, he's great. Yeah, that was a good one. That's what I see this being. The kids, he works with the kids. They make their own film. They maybe have a local film festival. Some producer sees it and comes in and takes Ernest.
There's a boatload of money.
I like this version. I think there's the most opportunity. I love Ernest with children. This is the best one, if you ask me.
And who plays the young friends?
Who's that kid from Sequest
Jonathan
and Ladybugs?
Brandis.
Jonathan
Yes,
Brandis.
that's actually who I was
He would be the
thinking
main
of.
kid. He would be the main kid.
Yeah, before he
would be
killed
the later.
himself.
Acknowledge that that's crazy that he understood before I even finished one word.
Oh, come on.
I was
where,
thinking
who
of
else
his
could it
name
be?
before you were going there.
want-
Omri Katz from Erie, Indiana.
I want 12 different Jonathan Brandises. I want CGI Jonathan Brandises in there. All the kids are Brandis.
Maybe one of the
Them are
kids.
Brandis? Man.
All Brandis.
I was thinking just a group of kids, and I'll say who played that.
The kid
in a
that
minute.
played Tum Tum and Three Ninjas.
okay.
Yeah, I'm sure he's
Jonathan
available.
Brandis leading the cast of Kids Incorporated.
The Kids
Oh,
Incorporated.
dude, does the one kid have the guitar?
Jennifer
I'm
Love
all
Hewitt?
over
That's a given.
Oh,
That's
and
a given.
Fergie.
Oh, and Fergie both in Kids
And
Incorporated.
Martika
You're
and her
damn
toy
right.
soldiers.
There you go.
All 3 of them.
Perfectly casted.
Okay,
But you had
there you go.
ideas too for casting. You said for this one, right?
That was it.
Okay.
It
The
Kids
was-
Incorporated?
I had Jonathan Brandis. Like you had to put.
You had Brandis
I
too.
had- come on, man. Hell yeah.
The quintessential
Brandis,
late
and
'80s
he
child
was,
actor.
He was the, and that is 2 actors, sadly, that we have mentioned that have committed
R.I.P.
suicide. R.I.P. But he was the leader. He would be the leader of the
Vern Incorporated.
of Vern Incorporated.
V-E-R-N. Yeah, Vern Incorporated.
What was Kids Incorporated about? Children
Nonsense.
dancing in an alley?
Kind of.
They had, they had like a
That's the
nightclub
gist I got of it.
after school.
Yeah,
and
it
they
was like
played songs and
their club was very similar to the Max on
Exactly.
Saved by the
Yep.
Bell.
Oh
Only it looked like
boy.
it was in an alley. There was a keytar involved.
Well,
This is my favorite.
and
this
they,
is my
had
favorite
one black friend.
yeah.
Just the one.
Gotta have it.
Well,
Because it's the 80s.
we've got one more to go. That's called Ernest Goes to Hollywood. But to hear about that, you're gonna have to wait another week and listen to the episode. This is the end of the sneak preview. Hopefully, you've enjoyed it. It's been much higher quality video thanks to our friend Seth Bennett on the. I mean, he's been all around the room. You've probably seen us in higher def than you want to.
You'll see my dumb
for the
face
$10
from multiple
patrons.
angles.
So thank you for watching, and you'll hear the full episode in a week. See you, Vern.